Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pucks and Brews, episode 6. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you may be wondering what happened to Woj. Well, we at Pucks and Brews had to place him on the injured list. He's day to day with an upper body injury. Isn't that right, Brendan?
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back. He'll be back by next week. He's day to day right now. We can't give out any more information. So
Yeah, just like the NHL. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I have an announcement to make. Brendan.
if Shades has a cold brew for anybody that's not watching on YouTube, which is probably everybody.
Shades finally has a brew. And Brendan, it is delicious. Virtual cheers.
Yep. I figured, listen, somebody had to step up. Woj wasn't here, so one of the boys had to actually have a brew.
Hey, dude, Woj is missing a legendary episode. You got a brew.
Unsponsored brew of choice, baby. Nothing better.
Unsponsored brews of choice. What do you got with you tonight?
I got a Sam Adams Winter Lager. Keeping a classic.
Well, you said earlier what I got.
Got my Rangers koozie. Shades got the Dunkin' cold brew. Shades is like a Jimmy Veazey. And for anybody that doesn't understand that joke, one time my brother ran into Jimmy Veazey downtown coming outside of Dunkin' Donuts. So I call him Mr. Dunkin' now.
I actually forgot about that.
Legend.
I forgot about that. But
he was probably picking it up, and he was probably picking up coffee for Sam Rosen. Sam Rosen loves to bring that up. He used to love to bring that up. He'd be like, just when I saw Veazey, he was buying everybody donuts. He would always bring that up, dude. He would always bring it up. I'm surprised he still doesn't bring it up. He probably will next time we play Toronto, whenever the hell that is. Probably like 4 years from now.
Yeah, probably. Fucking pandemic 4.0, just like everything is still shut down. Everybody's magically just in shape for some reason because it's pandemic 4.0. But dude,
I can't confirm whether this is true or not, but apparently VZ is so pissed that he's not in the US right now because he can only have Tim Hortons. So he has a secret guy come in that brings Dunkin' through the Canadian border just so he could have it.
Those NHLers, man, they got their hookups.
Hey, listen, man. No wonder why he's buzzing, man. He's got more goals than Eichel and Hall, so.
And Skinner.
And Zibanejad.
Dude, he's got more goals than Skinner, Eichel, and Hall combined. That's how bad the season.
Hey,
that's how bad of a season the Sabres are having.
Hey, listen, dude. All I know is, and we'll get off this because I think we spent enough time on Jimmy Veazey.
Yeah.
I did win the playoff MVP with Jimmy Veazey in franchise mode. So that's it. I had enough of him.
That's your boy in franchise mode. But anyway.
What can I say?
Well, this is what you get on Pucks and Brews, stupidity at its finest, which I love. That's my forte, isn't it, Brendan?
I would say so, Shades. Yeah.
Well, way to couldn't even be playful about it. You're just like, oh yeah, absolutely. You're stupid. But dude, a lot's happened since we last recorded. 6 games have been played. I mean,
insane.
I broke my brew drought on Pucks and Brews.
Well, 3-3, right, Shades? Or 4?
Well, let's look at the notes. I'm pretty sure we are 3-3 because no, 4 and 2.
4 and 2.
Or are we 5-1? I don't even. No, 4 and 2.
No. We definitely lost twice. Yeah. Yeah, because we lost to Pittsburgh and then we lost to Boston in that second game.
This is why I have the cold brew. I'm tired. But
Shades,
before we dive in, I just want to welcome everybody again to Pucks and Brews. If you want to grab a brew or grab a favorite drink of choice, sit back, relax, sip it, chug it, whatever you want, and enjoy the episode. By the way, I'm your host, Mike Sparacino. If I forgot to mention, and you're listening to Pucks and Brews. I'm alongside Brendan Mulroy. We mentioned that Woj's out with he's day to day with an upper body injury, but we can get through this without him. So 6 games, a Shesterkin injury, a bunch of players coming back from injury, Keith Kinkaid's Rangers debut, Johnny Brodzinski's, he got his first goal as a Ranger. So a lot's freaking happened in the last.
Chris Kreider going on an absolute rampage.
Yeah, 2
Panarin.
hat tricks.
Nobody has any idea where Panarin is. Literally, I have not heard a single thing about Panarin in the last week and a half. Are we sure he's even alive at this point?
He's probably hiding in a bunker.
Dude. Oh my God, dude. I feel like we haven't heard any updates. And I think it's because literally nobody has any idea. Which I guess I'd rather it that way anyway than them come up with some bullshit during the intermission. They'll have Bob McKenzie on the next game. He'll come up with some most dumb update of all time. Have you noticed that? I feel like the last 2 Rangers updates that Bob McKenzie has given us during the intermissions have been just so terrible.
Hey, shit happens. I mean, can't really do anything about it now. I mean, I'm not trying to shit talk Putin or anything. I'm trying to stay alive here. But
I mean, listen. Even without Panarin, considering the last 6 games have not been as bad as I thought they were going to be.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
100%.
It's actually nice to see, our guys step up, especially Kreider. Because I mean, earlier in the season there was a stretch of games where it looked like, you'd be like, "Where's Kreider?" basically. And
well, then again, that's pretty much every season. So.
No, that's true. It is, but it's nice to actually see him step up when we need him to step up, and not just him. Strome has also been really good. Yeah. Zibanejad has been good also. He just hasn't really been scoring.
Yeah,
until yesterday.
Rick Nashitis.
But even Lafreniere stepped his game up a little bit too. Thank God.
Yeah, he got a mini 4-game point streak in the middle of all these 6 games.
Yeah, Buchnevich has been good. Yeah, I mean, listen, I gotta say, considering the circumstances, especially with all these guys coming back from injuries too, I really have been somewhat impressed, minus last night. I mean, that was just brutal. But yeah, a lot to talk about, Shades.
If you thought the Rangers game last night was bad, you did not see the ending to the pay-per-view I was watching.
No, I didn't.
All I'm just going to say, I watched AEW Revolution instead of the Rangers game last night. Well, it was more enjoyable than the Rangers game probably was. The ending was just terrible. But This isn't a wrestling podcast. This is a hockey podcast, so that's all I'm going to mention about pro wrestling right now. Other than the fact that I once gave my brother almost perfect RKO in our basement on top of a couch cushion. Almost killed myself, but well worth it.
I didn't know that. That's insane.
Oh,
you learn something new every day, kid.
Yeah.
But kid, let's just briefly go over some of these games. There's a couple of topics that we definitely want to talk about.
Yeah, as we
we'll
always
start with
do.
The Boston game. We'll start with the Boston game. First game back with fans at the Garden, which is sick. Gotta love it. The boys showed up, basically, and we actually put a complete ass whipping on Boston. And like you said here in the notes, I mean, I would actually say it's 6-2 win. It was probably one of the best games that we played all season. So
I'm going to actually double down on that and say it was the best game considering how many players we were missing. So
definitely, for sure. I mean, we can't really say that the follow-up game against Boston was unfortunately was definitely not the same result. And of course, playing along with true fashion in this season, early on in the game, we had Nick Ritchie in front, falls on Georgiev's head, and then Georgiev's bleeding. So I still didn't get any clarity. I mean, I feel like they said it, but was it the league that ended up taking Georgiev out of the game, or was it Quinn that ended up taking Georgiev out after he gave up the first goal?
I'm pretty sure it was the league. See,
Gotcha.
I wasn't home yet, so I missed this whole sequence of events. I caught the second and third period, though, but I was just like, I'm getting updates via text. I'm checking Twitter. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because people are flipping out. And as far as I know, it was the NHL concussion spotters that pulled him. But I'm just like,
yeah, I mean,
why would you not pull him immediately? Why would you wait 2 minutes?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. And of course, they ended up scoring. I mean, as much as I hate Boston, I really don't think that was like an intentional. Like, I don't think Richie meant to actually do that one. I think he just got tangled up in front. But I mean, Jesus, literally the guy's entire weight came down on Gorgiev's head.
Yeah.
The fact that he even ended up coming back was insane. I thought he was going to be out for a little while.
Yeah, well, I mean, he missed the rest of the period, so.
Yeah, and then he ended up coming back to start the second, I believe. But I mean, now that we talk about it, that game is starting to come back to me a little bit, and I really feel like that was one of those games where we really just did not have anything. Like, there was nothing going. I mean, we scored, I think, in the third period, right? Blackwell ended up scoring. It was at the end of the second period we ended up scoring to make it 3-1, but I don't know. It
was one of
it
the
was
two.
it was definitely a disappointing disappointing follow-up game to that game before, but I guess you kind of figured, hey, listen, what are the chances we're going to crush Boston 2 games in a row?
True.
Probably
And yeah,
not.
and the thing that makes that second game against Boston even weirder, Shesterkin, while he was in, gave up a goal off a deflection, and just, of course, in like typical Henrik Lundqvist fashion, he gets stuck with the loss even though they lost 5-1. Just like typical Henrik Lundqvist luck fashion.
Yeah, it's brutal. That's
It
brutal.
literally,
I didn't even realize that.
bro, if the Rangers wouldn't have scored, or if they scored one more goal, Georgiev would have got the loss. But no, just circumstance, just shit on Shesterkin's life in that moment.
Literally insane. We'll keep on going with this recap here, Shades, and we got the third game in the sixth that we're talking about, and that was the Rangers against the Sabres.
Yeah.
Hedel finally back in the lineup. It's nice to have him back. I mean, I really feel like, especially against the Devils over the weekend, it was probably one of his better games of the season. I mean, you definitely notice he's back in the lineup because he's flying around for sure. But interesting enough with him though is the fact that we're actually playing him on wing right now, and we're having Rooney center the line, and we're playing Hedel on the wing, and I actually really don't mind that at all, to be honest.
See, I actually like Hedel better on the wing on the sole basis of his face-off percentage is just miserable. And
Right, he's not good at
you know the
face-offs.
face-off woes the Rangers have. So
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't mind it. I mean, especially he's come back from the injury. Like, he's not really good at face-offs to begin with, and it seems to me like he seems more than comfortable playing wing. So I don't mind it, and I saw a little bit of chemistry between those with that line, which was nice. Yeah, with this Buffalo game, it just literally got insane. It was, what was it, the first like minute and a half? There was like 3 goals.
first, to be completely precise, first 55 seconds, both teams scored. First time,
Literally insane.
dude. That's the first time since 1985 that the Rangers and their opponent have scored in the first minute of the game. And of course, it was against the Islanders because, of course. But who were the two that scored? Mike Bossy scored for the Islanders and Don Maloney scored for the Rangers. But that's insane. Like,
That's literally insane. Yeah.
bro, I was literally watching this game and I was just like, what? How? What? What?
All I know, Shades, is that I saw those 3 goals and I literally went to bed at like 7:20 p.m. And I woke up around 11:30 and I went back to sleep and got up at 7 a.m. for work. So I basically missed the entire game. So anything else that you got to add to this one?
Lafreniere extended his point streak to 3 games, and Kreider
Beautiful.
He continued his scoring.
He didn't have a hat trick.
What's the word I'm
game,
looking
right?
for here? He continued his scoring, not pace.
Rampage.
Yes, you know what? Yes,
rampage.
yes, that's an appropriate word here, actually. But other than
But
that,
you said, Shades,
the game was really not that interesting.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Buffalo is basically a train wreck, so
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
and that's to sum it up in short.
Like, the one thing that especially pissed me off about that game, though, once Kreider scored, which made it 3-1 at that point, there was 10 minutes and 28 seconds left on the clock in the second period. Rangers did not get a shot for the rest of the period. That was just like, what the hell? It's the Sabres,
to me,
for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that goes to just show you how sometimes we come out so flat, and it's like we can't get over the hump, and it's really. And we'll talk more about this in a second too, and this carries over to the Pittsburgh game, but it's especially against the Devils on Saturday. We ended up blowing that lead. Or no, it was Saturday, right? That we played them, where we blew like a 2-goal lead in literally like less than a minute.
Oh yeah.
That was, and that happened basically last night as well. I mean, we gave up like 3 goals in a minute. All of a sudden, the game just went to shit, and we literally just couldn't recover it.
They let in 3 goals in 61 seconds. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's nuts, And the first game against the Devils was actually, well, it actually was pretty important. I know you wrote in the notes here. It was interesting, and was this because of an injury or not, or was it Quinn just literally sitting Mika?
Oh no, that was a benching.
That was right.
That was a straight up benching.
I figured. That was, I figured. And this is the game that Chesty ends up getting hurt in, right? Trying to make the save, coming across the crease. I mean, just no luck, literally. So, I mean, it actually looked a lot worse than it ended up being. He's just day to day, which, I mean, really day to day can fucking be like 3 weeks. So we're not going to know how long that's going to be. But Kreider ends up getting a natural hat trick in this game, which is insane.
The man rocket, Chris Kreider.
He ends up getting 2 hat tricks in the last,
5
I guess
games.
It's more than 6. Yeah, 2 hat tricks in 5 games.
Excluding the Pittsburgh game, 2 hat tricks in 5 games.
Absolutely insane. Just a complete ass kicking. It's just so funny. It's just like the inconsistency of this team. Sometimes it's like 6 goals against Boston. Somehow we only score like 3 goals against Buffalo, 1 goal against Pittsburgh. It's like you never know what you're going to get on every night.
Yeah.
And it's like when all the top guys are showing up, then like we're really all buzzing. But it's like in the games that were really terrible, it's like the top line is nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really hard to like criticize them how that they've played well over this course, but it's like even in last night's game, it's like we get our ass kicked and we start off the game so hot, but then it's like where did the offense go as the game went on? It's like we could not generate a single offensive chance. It was brutal.
Yeah, just to jump back to the first game against the Devils for a second. One stat that was really eye-popping. Lindgren has 6 assists in his last 6 games, and like he was not known for his offense, especially like when he was drafted. He leads the team with 9 even strength. Dude, he leads the team with 9 even strength assists. That's pretty impressive considering who's on the team.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. When you play on a line with Fox, I mean, this guy's also all over the place. I feel like he's always making good plays. He's never afraid to throw the puck on net. At times he honestly reminds me of McDonough. He just plays that he's a little more gritty than McDonough played, obviously. But I mean, McDonough was, he could put up a lot of those points offensively. So if he can, get that part of his game going, that'd be amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
And also, is this the game that Miller came back from injury?
Actually, no. Miller came back in the, I think the second game against Boston.
Oh, okay. So he had been back for a little while. Perfect.
I'm double checking that right now, but it's one of the 2 games against Boston. No, this is what happens when you take a shit ton of notes and you forget to mention shit chronologically. But
yeah, and I know that you
it was the mentioned first game against Boston.
Yeah, and he, just to touch on Miller, he's been like interesting the last like 2 or I would say like the last like 2 games. He's like, it's interesting because they were talking about him like he wants to focus more like on his offense, and I actually feel like I see it, but like he's getting almost like too aggressive. I don't know if you've noticed it, and he's been out there for a lot of goals against now in the last like 2 games, and he also like keeps I was joking around with our boy Pete. I'm like, dude, this guy like needs to get his skate sharpened too. It's like I feel like he's blown his tires out like 2 times in a row on plays and like just gets like smoked on plays. But I don't know. He it's like crazy to watch him because there's even against the Devils, it's like, dude, there was a couple plays where like, especially on Wood, like Wood was coming down on him. Wood was like flying full stride, and Miller looked like he wasn't even skating, and he just like Wood gets past him, and Miller just like reaches and poke checks it away like nothing. I'm like, dude, this guy's insane.
Yeah. Oh,
I got
another interesting stat for you. I think you're gonna like this one. The second game against the Devils, the Hedel and Hayek scored. Hayek's first of the season, by the way, good for him. That was the first time that 2 Czech players scored in the same game for the Rangers since Peter Pruka and Michael Roosevelt on December 19th, 2008.
Jesus, the rollback, dude.
But dude, these are some interesting stats that are dug up. Like, I got to give credit to whoever the statisticians are in charge of this, because this is interesting stuff.
Twitter, baby. That's all I got to say. Keeps you up to date.
And it also does a lot of other things, but we won't mention those things.
No, for sure, man. But oh my God. Yeah. Well, let's get into the Devil series real quick. I mean, we basically whipped their ass. This is summing up in short, which is always fantastic. Any like major takeaways that you had from, I guess, let's talk about the first game.
Yeah, actually, I was just going to say that, like, we came out extremely flat again against them in the first game against them. Second game the start was a hell of a lot better, but the first game, it's just like, we're coming off a bad game. Okay, well, we're coming off a lackluster win, so to speak, against Buffalo, because we only had 19 shots on goal in that game, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know what it is with us playing New Jersey. It's just like, that was
they're like a.
Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. I was gonna say, like, the Devils are like a sneaky, like, gritty team to play against sometimes. Like, they do have some skill up front, and I feel like you can't like really let off the brakes like with the Devils, because they do have a lot of young guys up front that can play. You know, obviously Hughes, he's basically a Ranger killer at this point. I would say he always goes on a rampage. You know, Subban, you never know what's going to happen with him. I mean, he scored on that cannon over the weekend. But Sharangovich, they have a lot of guys that can play. So Wood is really good up front. Yeah, it's always interesting when we play them, to be honest. I really don't ever know what to expect anymore when we play them. Yeah, but in Saturday's game, that was Kako's first game back in the lineup too from injury.
Yep.
And we have to talk about the Fox goal, because damn, that was beautiful, dude.
Coast to coast. That was awesome.
Unreal, dude. That really wasn't awesome. That was freaking great. And also Rooney scoring as well.
Oh yeah.
From the pass from Hedel too. You gotta love that against his old team.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I said this last episode, but I feel like it needs to be repeated again. Rooney has been a very good signing.
Oh, dude, he's got like, I think they said, I think he has like 4 goals already this season.
Yeah, he does.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, you don't really expect Rooney to put up 4 goals.
Yeah,
so you gotta love it.
Yeah, dude, a fourth. I mean, he was signed technically as a fourth liner, like, in the offseason, but I mean, we're only what, 22 games in?
Yeah.
And for a fourth liner to have 4 goals, that's not bad at all.
No, dude. I mean, listen, we're gonna take what we can get. You know, this is another one of those games too where it's a lot of our top guys showed up. Strome, another good game from Strome. And also, I mean, I would like to touch more on this too after we touch upon the Pittsburgh game yesterday. But another key component to the Rangers playing well is been the penalty kill. I mean, the penalty kill has been absolutely insane. At this point in time, it has to be close to being number 1 in the NHL. I mean, I think as of yesterday, they killed off like what was it, like 46, right? Of like at one point it was like 47 of 50 that they killed
47 of
off.
50.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
did you
literally,
realize that when Sam Rosen said that, he was like, the Rangers penalty kill 47 out of their last 50, 92%. And I was just like, Sam, it's Sam. And just to piggyback off that real quick, whenever I go to a Rangers game, the stats, especially the face-off percentage, like they are almost always like one number off. Like, you know how it's supposed to add up to 1,000? They are always
yep.
like one number off, and that just like, oh my god, dude, that gets to me. And my buddy Dan sent me a text. He sent me a text. It was something along the lines of, now they know where they get their stats from, the guy who's in charge of that. And that was just, that had me dying, man. That had me dying.
Yeah, but hey, listen, man, you can't ask for a better penalty kill performance. And listen, it's a lot of underrated parts of that too. As much as I make fun of even Howden too, he's actually really good at killing penalties.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, dude. If he wasn't good at killing penalties, I don't know if he'd be on the team.
Hey, listen, the guy's he's got that going for him, and he's got going the fact that he's semi decent at faceoffs, which doesn't say a lot on the Rangers. That he's basically almost leading the. He's up there. Like Zibanejad's been semi decent too. I was looking this up yesterday. I think Zibanejad's around like 49% faceoffs. So that definitely helps Howden's case for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because I agree with you. I mean, the guy has like 1 assist all year. I mean, I saw those numbers. Like, I saw a stat line the other day, and I'm like, it's kind of insane. But hey, listen, he does little things, and sometimes those things don't really transfer over to stats. So, I mean, you can't question his effort level, that's for sure, because I feel like he's always given his all.
Oh, I also forgot to mention earlier in the podcast, you know what else happened over this 6-game span for the Rangers? You know what they did?
Boy.
You know what they did? I forgot what game it was, but they scored a Shades goal.
Oh, God.
They scored a Shades goal.
One of those ones where, you take a shot and it just bounces off the guy in front. That's Shades when he plays roller hockey or any hockey. Shades goal, baby. Hey, listen, kid.
Hey.
Somebody's got to get to the dirty areas, you know?
Roller hockey, ice hockey, chell.
That's true. It actually transforms any type of hockey. Shades goals are going to happen.
Just a little bit of fun right now. Just for everyone listening or watching, if you're on YouTube, click that subscribe button, by the way. Just to give you an idea of a prime example of a Shades goal. Okay, just imagine you're playing Chell and you pass the puck, or a guy on the team passes the puck over to whoever's at the point playing left or right defenseman, and they take a shot, one-timer from the point, and there's like 5-6 guys in front of the net. There's just a massive scramble, and then you're that one guy that just comes out of nowhere spamming poke check, and the puck trickles across the goal line. That is a prime Shades goal, which I've done that multiple times, by the way, and especially, I'm just dying
because I've witnessed so many of them in Chell, especially. It's like unbelievable.
Dude, especially all our boys, they used to get so mad. I'm just like, guys, we scored. If it's working, don't complain.
Insane.
Insane. Those were the best goals, though.
Shades, as much as it hurts me to move on from the Shades goals, we got to talk about this Penguins game yesterday. Unfortunately, the worst part. I mean, a lot going on here.
I'm gonna let you do the brunt of the talking.
So obviously, this is the most recent game, so I felt like it's the most fresh in our head. But there's definitely a couple of topics I want to take away from this game that I wanted to talk to you about after. Well, obviously now. First off, finally, Zibanejad ends up scoring a goal, gives us a 1-0 lead. So that, you got to love that. And it's crazy how in that short of time, even though it was, literally the first minute and a half of the game, it looked like the Rangers were going to dominate that entire game. And then it's like, dude, the game just shifted. We gave up the first goal, and then next thing you know, all of a sudden it's 3-1. 3 goals in like a minute. And listen, obviously I always defend Georgiev in certain circumstances. I want to say, like the first goal that he had given up in this game is one he probably wants back. It just was not a good angle for him to give up a goal. Granted, I think it was on the power play too. It was just like a weird shot from like a weird angle. He was kind of screened in front, so I guess he probably didn't see it, and it kind of was a snipe. I think it was Marino that shot it from the boards. But then right after that too is like we give up a bad breakaway goal right after, and that one can't happen. And I know that obviously, and I think Joe Micheletti said it best. He was like, and the back-to-back goals, the second and third goal, the third goal was Crosby on a breakaway also. It's like you want Georgiev to make a save, but like you almost can't expect him to make a save in those circumstances either. But it's like, you in your head, you're like, man, if Shesty was in that, like he probably would have made one of those saves, So, and the game really, we just, like you said in the notes, it's like, dude, we really just couldn't gain control back after that. I think it's just like it was just such a like devastating blow to give up 3 goals in that amount of time. And listen, this game could have been a lot worse. I mean, Kinkaid ends up coming in, which I'm like, hey, listen, at this point, in my head, I was thinking, listen, at this point in time, like
they got nothing
I don't
to
think
lose,
he
right?
really. Exactly. There's nothing to lose at this point. And Quinn even said after, like, hey, I almost started Kinkaid. And it's like, dude, I actually wish you would have just started Kinkaid in the first place, to be honest. Give Georgiev a rest also. But dude, Kinkaid, I'm not gonna lie, he looked good. Like he really, really looked good. I mean, listen, I missed the 4th goal. I think it was like a pass cross to Malkin from Kapanen.
Yep.
Apparently, it was one that you couldn't expect him to make the save. Like there was no chance. The 5th goal was just so lucky. I can't even like. That was just. It was actually a Shades goal. One would say. One would say it was a Shades goal. Me looking at it, but yeah, I mean, listen, Kinkaid, even though he gave up 2 goals in the debut, this game really could have got out of hand, especially in that second period if it wasn't for Kinkaid. So I was actually happy that we brought him in. And what I was going to talk to you about was if I'm the Rangers, I think I start him next game. Honestly, I think I would actually start Kinkaid.
Yeah,
Any thoughts on that?
I probably would too. If not, you really have to consider it.
I would consider it only because I really felt like he actually gave us a chance in getting back in that game. Now, whether or not they think that he was overworked in that game and then they'd rather play Georgiev in the next game, that I could understand. But I don't know. I think I would start him personally because I think Georgiev needs a rest, especially after that game. But I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I have no issue with them starting Kinkaid. It's like at this point we really don't know the timetable for Sturkin. I mean, day to day, like I said, is so vague in my opinion. You could be day to day for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a way of them I think the day to day is like they can just be as vague about it as they want. Like technically Panarin's day to day, right? And we haven't heard anything about in like 2 weeks. So
yeah.
No, but I that's the thing with the goaltending situation too. It's like I don't know. I feel like right now with Shesty out, I almost don't even really feel like it's that big of an issue. Like it sucks that he's out, but I think we're playing decent enough right now where we can win some of these games with Georgiev or Kinkaid in that.
Yeah, especially with the way they've been playing the past like 8 games. Yeah. Well, outside of the Boston.
And I forgot to mention too. I mean, I thought this one was interesting. Trouba's back in the lineup too. I forgot to bring that up with the Pittsburgh game. I don't know. Like, you think they like rushed him back, or you think he was ready? I mean, it sounded like he was good to go the last like 2 games. So I'm shocked that we didn't start him. I thought it was interesting we started him against Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna say he was ready because like his original timetable was. Did I say that right, or did original timetable? it was
Yeah.
4 to 6 weeks, right? And what, he's back in like 3? That means it must have not been as serious as they thought it was.
Yeah. I mean, I would say considering in his absence, I really felt like the defense wasn't that bad. I mean, I don't know. I guess that could be Ranger bias, but I even felt like Johnson really wasn't that bad over the last little while too.
Which is
I
surprising
mean,
to say, considering
I know it
where
is,
we
but
were at the
hey,
beginning of the
listen,
season.
I would argue that it's even been a bounce back season for Smith. Honestly, I really felt like he's been pretty good.
Oh no, I think he's definitely playing better this year
And
than last year.
I don't drink during when I watch the Ranger games too, so I'm completely I'm
Neither
completely
do I.
sober when I watch these games.
So am I.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's been like I just don't even know what to say sometimes. Like when I evaluate the games after, it's like I even though obviously we still lost 2 games out of the last 6, been better than I thought it was going to be considering with all the losses that we had up front.
Yeah.
And
I thought for
obviously,
sure we were winning 2 games max. Like as soon as Panarin went down, and then all of a sudden we're here 4 wins out of the next 6 games later. I'm just like, all right, all right. People are playing well. We're getting timely scoring.
finally, hey, listen, we need those guys to step up. Like we need Strom to be good. We need Zibanejad obviously to be good, but biggest thing is Kreider. I mean, he's tied for what now? Like as I know, I didn't check the stat as of last night, but I know at one point he was tied for like 5th or 7th, I think it was, in scoring in the NHL now. Goal scoring. I don't think it was points, but it's interesting with Kreider too. It's like we were saying before. I mean, obviously he goes on these rampages, and it's like everybody's running these articles like, "Oh, it's time to make Kreider captain now." I'm like, I don't know about that one.
No,
I mean, to me, it's like, listen, if Kreider can be consistent with this play, which obviously he's not going to score a hat trick every night, but if he can at least be like noticeable on these losses that we have. Like I feel like he's like there's no in between with Kreider. It's either he's like the best player or he's not. You can't notice him.
I'm actually very glad you brought that up. It begs the question: who would you put the captaincy on? Mika, Kreider, or somebody else?
I wouldn't put it on Mika only because I feel like his play right now is he wouldn't be able to lead on the ice. I don't think. If it was up to me, honestly, I would. I mean, could be an unpopular opinion, but I would probably put the captaincy on Fox.
Ooh,
That'd be my personal pick at the captaincy, only because I just feel like Fox is just sick every night. Like, what do you think he's really had? Like one bad game all season, honestly. Like
yeah.
I can't even like, and this is a stat also. I'm not a big fan of the advanced stats. Only when I like to see them benefit the Rangers.
Yeah.
No, but I did actually send this over to Peter earlier, and I wanted to bring this up. Um, and this to me goes to show you how I feel like, and don't quote me on this too, because obviously this is a little bit of Ranger bias, but this is projections on defensive pairs that are going to give up the least amount of goals per 60 minutes. Advanced
Oh,
stat,
I
I don't
know.
know the fucking
I
formula.
think I think I screenshotted exactly what you're talking about. Wait,
So
hold on. Let me take a guess. Is Marc Staal first?
you son of a bitch. That's what
Yes.
I was gonna.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna end it off with. I wasn't even gonna go there yet. But I was gonna say Mark Stoll is at the top. Yes, insane. But second on this list, Shades, is Lindgren and Fox. So
Yep.
that goes to show you how underrated the GOAT Mark Stoll is still.
Damn
B,
right.
Lindgren and Fox. No, but seriously, that Fox as captain, I haven't heard that at all. So I think that would probably be out there as an opinion as for captaincy because I don't think you hear his name enough. I would pick Fox, and I don't know. I mean, just going based off of like the last couple Rangers captains we had,
Yeah.
like obviously Callahan, McDonough. Uh, I could even see somebody like a Lindgren becoming a captain at some point because of his leadership on the ice, like because he's so like when I think of like a Rangers captain, I think of somebody like him. And that's just because of that. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, no, I like that answer because, like we said, neither one of us would put the captaincy on Kreider. Like, do I believe he's an important piece of the locker room? Absolutely. I mean, he's been a mentor to all the young kids so far. But like you said earlier, it's just like he'll be here for 10 games and then he'll be here for 15. There's not enough consistency in his game, and like even
Listen,
his work ethic during games.
If they gave the captaincy to Kreider, obviously I'd be happy for him. I'd be happy for anybody that gets the captaincy, but I'm just saying if I had to choose, I don't know if I don't know. It's obviously a debate amongst Rangers fans now who we think the captain should be. But I just think of if we're gonna base it off of consistent play every night, then I would say Fox is up there for captain, in my opinion. But I haven't heard anybody say that.
All right. Well, now that you said that, I can definitely see him being the front runner among the defensemen to get the captain. Absolutely. But if we're talking like, all right, let's break that up into two categories. Fox would be the leader on defense for obvious reasons, like you just said. But yeah, I can't see Trouba.
I don't think Trouba.
I think at most he'll get an alternate. But if we're talking forwards, I would probably lean towards Mika, because if you look at him, like since he's gotten here, like he has admitted like his work ethic off ice has like improved dramatically since he got traded to the Rangers. I mean, he scored 30 goals for the first time 2 seasons ago. Look, we all remember what he did last year when he was just an absolute machine. And lately he's been not that same player, obviously, because he's not scoring goals, but like you could see like his work ethic on the ice, especially during the games, like it's a lot closer to where he was last year.
So. Listen, even in the last like 10 games, so obviously he's only scored about like 2 goals, but he's making a lot of plays now. But I still feel like there's a lot of circumstances right now where you could tell like he's not what he was last year, and the fact that he's almost like overthinking plays, especially like on the power play. He's doing a lot of like trying to force a lot of passes, and I think that will start coming naturally when you start scoring more goals too. He'll feel more confident. But I don't know if we're basing it off of, and I don't know, it's weird for me to say like if we're basing it off consistent play to pick Fox, and then on the offensive end, still I would say that if there was going to be a forward in the front running, I would probably say it would be Kreider, and I'm saying it based off of like the fact that we have him signed a little longer as well. I think that plays into it, but obviously he's been so good recently that would also play into it too. I think if they were going to make that decision like tomorrow, I would say it would probably go to Kreider. But I don't know. Obviously, I'm not an expert in these things, but I'm basing it off of, based off his offensive production as of late. I would just want to see somebody else have it personally.
Oh yeah, no, me too.
I mean, listen, if it went to him, like I said, it is what it is. But
yeah, but no, I think Fox, like he's definitely shown the maturity on and off the ice to the point where putting the captain on him in the future would be already acceptable. I think that's a realistic possibility that you just brought up. And also, like you said, like Callahan, McDonough, even like, look, I liked Ryan Callahan, but I didn't like him as the captain. I still liked him because I thought he was a good player, but I didn't like him as the captain anywhere near as much as Callahan. I thought Callahan was the much better captain. That's just my personal opinion.
Did you mean McDonough?
What?
You said Callahan by accident. Did you mean McDonough as captain?
Yeah, I'm interchanging names here. Yeah, no.
That's all good. You said Callahan, that's all I was like. And then you followed it up by saying you liked Callahan more as the captain. So I was like, what is this kid talking about?
All right, let me rephrase that. I liked Callahan more as a captain than McDonough, but I thought McDonough was the more consistent player throughout his tenure as a Ranger.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, honestly, I actually felt like once McDonough got the captain, his play actually decreased, to be honest.
Yeah, which is exactly why I'm okay with them, or have been okay with them not naming a captain. Because I mean, look, like they rushed basically to name a captain last time.
Yeah, of course.
And
I mean, I think that probably plays into the fact that they haven't come up with a captain so soon, And listen, like you said, I mean, at this point, I think it's easy for us as fans to say like, oh, we suck tonight, like, oh, it's because we have no leadership out there on the ice, and I don't know, like
there's leaders in the
make
locker
that
room.
conclusion. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, if like even after Callahan was traded, getting my names right this time. I mean, look at it was widely reported that Brad Richards was like the de facto captain. And then
yeah, of course. I mean,
and then
obviously
he wasn't with the
in
team.
that locker room. Listen, hey, that locker room, I mean, veteran presence was just insane. So, that's where it makes it a little different this time around. It's like we don't really have as many veteran guys, and that also leads in Kreider's favor, considering he's been on the team for as many years as he has been.
Yeah, especially like the veteran presence. Like, dude, they lost Fost, Lundqvist, and Staal. Like, you can say whatever you want about their on ice performance, but dude, in the locker room, those are like losing those three is basically like losing 2-3 lines worth of leadership.
No, for sure. I mean, obviously Lundqvist too, and the GOAT, Marc Staal.
The GOAT, Marc Staal.
No problem. Marc Staal's like, yeah, no problem. You guys shit talk me. Now I'm on the number one pair of giving up the least amount of goals.
Wait, is it the least amount of goals or the least amount, or is it like the lowest
I think it
goals
was
against
goals
per 60, whatever?
Something like that. Yeah, like lowest projected goals against per 60 minutes or something. That I was so pissed that you beat me to it, man. I was gonna bring that up as my last statement. I don't have anything else to say to end this off.
Dude, I was legitimately wondering, like, because you said that like right before we started recording, you got something big for me. I was like, man, kind of interested what he's gonna say. And then like as you started talking about it, I'm just like, is he going where I think he's going with this?
That's right, kid. Marc Staal, baby.
Oh, that was. I am so happy I beat you to it on that.
I shouldn't have brought up VZ so early. Now I'm out of last facts to bring up for you. I don't have anything else.
Do I have one final fact that I can bring up? I think I do. Nah, it's not as good as any of the other ones that I brought up. But
hey, listen. Good news is, kid, we'll be recording next Tuesday again. So we'll actually be we can condense the amount of games we talk about and be a little more crisp.
Yeah,
and Woj will hopefully be back.
Yeah. But dude, 6 games is just too many games. Like the only reason we didn't do a podcast episode sooner is because we're just like, all right, well, like we legit like had a mini meeting via text. Like, are you okay? Rangers don't play like 7 out of the next 9 Mondays. Do you want to record on those 7 Mondays? And you two were just like, yeah. And because,
Yeah, now we have a schedule now. We actually have a recording schedule, so it'll be a little easier.
Yeah, we actually have a recording schedule through like March 4th, which is like for us, that's impressive.
Hey, listen, and the good thing is that you mean April 4th.
April 4th.
March. We're already in.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, the good thing is too is
that's why I got the cold brew. I needed it.
The good thing is though, Shades too is if we can get one of these in a week, we could also not only talk about the Rangers, but we can also touch upon some other stuff that's happening in the league, which I'd like to do on the next episode too. So
absolutely, it's just shit happens, but no, we'll get on our game. We'll better our game. That's more like it. We'll better our game, but I'm looking forward to it. You?
Oh yeah, man, always.
Yeah, Woj will be back from his undisclosed upper body injury. Thanks, NHL. But what do you think? Was he partying with Kako this weekend? Did they get into a fight at a bar or something?
Who knows, dude? Woj probably got hit with a steel chair from Kako from behind.
Stone Cold Steve Austin just showed up. Just
Howden hit him with the RKO.
There's gonna be definitely like 2 or 3 people listening to this and be like, who the hell are these guys talking about?
Yeah, there's people that have probably just shut it off at this point. They're sick of us. Once we brought off Marc Staal, they're like, all right, I'm turning this shit off.
The GOAT
Either
Marc
that or
Staal.
they didn't make it past the VZ comments in the beginning, which I can't blame them for either.
Hey, the GOAT Marc Staal. For those of you who don't know, like, I just started calling Marc Staal that like 3 seasons ago, because he was coming off an awful season with the Rangers, and I was just like, you know what? Everyone's piling on Marc Staal. I'm gonna start calling him the GOAT. And I just kept calling him that because I felt like it. And then I actually tweeted either last year or the year before, Marc Staal scored the first goal of the season for the Rangers. And I tweeted out, Marc Staal is the GOAT. And that tweet got featured in an article on The Athletic. So after that, I had to call him the GOAT, Marc Staal. I had to keep the tradition going. That was
amazing.
That was one of my best tweets ever, like from that standpoint.
Amazing. I'm done, kid. I don't know what else to say. I'm out of words.
So no final thoughts? Can't come up with anything on the spot?
Final thoughts. We got a couple of tough games coming up though. Actually, on this serious note, we got Pittsburgh again tomorrow night, and I'm pretty sure we have who is it? Philly on Thursday. So it's not going to be easy.
Boston on Thursday and Saturday.
Oh, yikes. Even worse. Well,
depends.
Boston will be playing without Carlo at least, so because he's dead from the Tom Wilson hit. So
Wilson got suspended 7 games, thank God. People were rejoicing on Twitter.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yeah.
Scumbag hit.
Still no penalty on the play, but suspended 7 games. So
somehow
figure that one out.
No penalty.
Yeah, figure that one out. But
yikes.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
actually,
it.
Wait, Brendan, you accidentally lied. We're recording next Tuesday, not Monday, because the Rangers play Monday.
That's what I said. I said next Tuesday, didn't I?
I don't fucking remember.
You have to listen to the playback, Shades. I'm not gonna fucking take responsibility for that. I know I said Tuesday.
No, you're right. If you did say that, that's my fault, but I'm not going back and listening to this. We don't need to edit anything out or anything, so I'm just straight uploading this. But
beast. That's it, man.
Since you have no other final thoughts, here's my final thought. Dunkin' Cold Brew, unsponsored brew of the episode. I hope I made David Pasternak happy. So, and I hope you enjoyed Brendan's Rangers koozie if you're watching on YouTube. But thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 6 of Pucks and Brews. We will be back next Wednesday, because that's when the episode's dropping. We'll be recording next Tuesday. We'll be back on Wednesday, March 17th with episode 6 Pucks and Brews. I'm your host,
Mike. Is that St. Patrick's Day?
Is it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is. Nice.
It is. So we'll see. We'll be back on St. Patrick's Day. You better have a brew on that day. If you're listening to this podcast, I might have to get another cold brew. I mean, it's St. Patty's Day. But I've been your host, Mike Sparacino, alongside Brendan Mulroy. Woj will be returning, hopefully, from his undisclosed upper body injury next episode. And follow us on all of our socials listed in the description below, because I am so sick and tired of saying all of them. And Dunkin' Cold Brew. We out.